Panchayat for me has always been an examination of masculinity, the fragility of it, the performance of it, the at times almost adorable patheticness of it. I like that this time the show examines the area I've always been curious about. With its delightful, keenly observed, lived-in performances, Panchayat continues to offer one of the finest ensembles we've seen in a series thus far. One of the streaming landscape's gentlest triumphs is back. The people of Phulera, who across 2 seasons have stolen our hearts with their daily goings-on, scuffles, trials, tiffs, and large-hearted warmth, are back for a 3rd installment. I've spent a long time trying to understand exactly what it is that makes Panchayat, from writer Jitendra Kumar and director Deepak Kumar Mishra, so special and distinctive. Is it the gentle mix of comedy and drama? Is it the sparkling specificity and smallness of it? Or that it brings new meaning to the term slice of life? Or how it makes such mundane, unexciting, inconsequential, everyday goings-on and conflicts so comfortably engaging? Is it that the series defies algorithm? You couldn't reverse engineer Panchayat even if you tried. Or how it takes inherently comedic scenarios and examines them with utmost sincerity and humanity? Or perhaps that it's the definitive male friendship story of the streaming age. Those moments and scenes of Vikas, Prahlad, Pradhanji and Abhishek just being for each other, through highs and lows. We all deserve a WhatsApp group where a simple hi can quickly lead to drinking your woes and wins away with your friends deep into the night. Or maybe it's how Panchayat manages to convey meaning, substance and feeling within such charming, breezy plainness. Unlike other shows like TVF's own Gullak, with Panchayat, rarely can you feel its agenda, its storytelling, its conveniences. It doesn't feel manufactured. The design is almost invisible. This 3rd chapter is every bit as human, honest, charming, and wonderful as the previous 2 seasons. Until it isn't. It's still the same show. Until it isn't. It's been a few months since the devastating events of the season 2 finale. We catch up with Sachivji, aka Abhishek, played by one of the streaming arena's finest talents, Jitendra Kumar, as he returns to Phulera for a more administrative mishaps and misadventures, alongside Prahlad, played by a delightful Faisal Malik, Pradhanji, played by the always glorious Raghubir Yadav, and my personal favourite, the lovable Vikas, played by a shining Chandan Roy. This season goes all in on exploring politics and the divides and destruction it brings, the unfortunate clash between politicking and progress, authority and responsibility. That and the ongoing escalating feud between the residents of Phulera and the obnoxious bully MLA played by Pankaj Jha. I like that this time the show examines the area I've always been curious about, the limitations in the leadership of Pradhanji and how much he gets away with by being a decent human being. He's never been a terrible leader, but nor is he a particularly effective one, forever coasting along and doing the bare basics. Retaining his position, it would appear, is more important than actually doing some good with it. But the beating heart of this chapter is the grief-stricken Prahlad. A quietly heartbreaking Faisal Malik embodies a man at odds with himself, struggling to get back up after being dealt the most painful of blows. Prahlad at times feels like the silent protagonist of this season, getting many of the best moments. In one scene, after months of being caged by his pain, we see him break into a fit of the heartiest laughter alongside his friends. It forced a stubborn smile on my face that refused to budge.
Oh, कबूतर भी तोड़ाना है।
कबूतर तो उड़ाना है।
But my favourite moment of these 8 episodes, and perhaps of any show this year so far, comes when Ateri Prahlad schools an elderly woman on the importance of family and being around your loved ones. In return, she nudges him to tidy his dishevelled home, a touching, heartbreaking gesture to help a defeated man get back on his feet and experience life again. With its delightful, keenly observed, lived-in performances, Panchayat continues to offer one of the finest ensembles we've seen in a series thus far. Even outside the main cast, the fine folks at Casting Bay continues to work their magic. For me, this time the standouts were the magnificently cheeky Abha Sharma as the mother of one of the villagers, along with the performative swag of a sparkling Asif Khan as Ganesh. Panchayat for me has always been an examination of masculinity, the fragility of it, the performance of it, the at times almost adorable patheticness of it, the reactions and rumblings of sulking, sullen, brooding, moody men in the face of raging insecurity and delicate egos. And this new chapter continues to do that beautifully. But there are also rumblings of a repetitiveness that's set in. You can feel a sense of template with the same narrative elements crashing together to provide the conflict and drama. The ongoing antics of the scheming, opportunistic Bhushan, for example. It's the tricky territory that comes with the struggles of nailing the new season of a beloved show, of trying to give us more of what we fell in love with, but also evolving the show and these characters and bringing in a freshness. I was also painfully aware of the background score. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it draws a lot of attention to itself, constantly telling us, reminding us, insisting on how we should feel. The music is instrumental in bringing a sense of lightness to the show, but also feels insecure at times, informing us about whether a scene is supposed to be dramatic, emotional, or comedic, rather than letting us come to our own conclusions. Like a sequence in which the Terry MLA is bidding farewell to his prized horse. It's a scene that could have just as easily come off as comedic, but it's the score that insists that it's a heartbreaking, sincere moment, or an unsettling scene of violence shortly after, where the music is saying, hey, chill, relax, don't worry, it's all just a comedy, despite the unnerving visuals. And then comes the last episode. I of course won't discuss the specifics of what happens or else you'll do violence on me, but I'll say this. After last time, we know that seasons of Panchayat like to go out with a bang. And like with the season 2 finale, this one is also certainly jaw-dropping, but for all the wrong reasons. I'm still shaken up by it. It's an episode that, for me, undoes the very DNA of the show, an ending that belongs to a very different show. In the name of being explosive and unexpected and taking the show in an exciting new direction, the organicness and humanity of the series is done away with entirely. In a single 50-minute episode, it felt like the specialness of Panchayat disintegrated. Its large-hearted gentleness evaporates. Its sparkling smallness is trampled by grand stakes and showdowns and conspiracy theories. Magical, mundane, and comfortable nothing is sacrificed for big, loud, and explosive. As if it no longer trusts its own essence and appeal. Not once did it feel like natural progression as much as it did pandering to formula. No longer interested in keeping it real, Panchayat leaps for what feels like an insecure attention grab. Suddenly, you can see the design. Suddenly, it feels manufactured. Suddenly, the delightful outlier of the Indian streaming landscape feels conventional. Suddenly, the ground shifts and the show that defied algorithm violently threatens to be what it never was. More of the same. You can watch Panchayat Season 3 on Amazon Prime Video.